Good evening and welcome to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as we have a match for you today that affects the Champions League run-in and the relegation as Tottenham hosts Nottingham Forest this evening in this rearranged fixture. Tottenham Hotspur, well, they're coming off the back of a 1-1 draw away at West Ham, and Nottingham Forest are coming off the back of an impressive 3-1 victory over Fulham. The two sides have met each other 124 times, with Spurs winning 58 of them, 37 won by Forest and 29 draws. I have with me in the commentary box today Luke Turton, who's the co-com today. A very, very interesting game, Luke. And just before we go into the starting lineups, just what are you expecting out of both these teams today?
I'm expecting a very, very attacking performance from Spurs. They've got Maddison, Johnson, Werner and Son in their quartet for attack, so I'm expecting them to really go at Forest today. As for Forest, they'll want to back up that win in midweek, so it will be interesting to see whether they can come and actually attack the Spurs rearguard.
All right, our first job of the day, Luke, is to go through the starting lineups, and let's start with Tottenham Hotspur, who are managed by Ange Postecoglou. They have Guglielmo Vicario in goal. The back four is number 38, Destiny Udogie, number 17, Christian Romero, number 37, Mickey van der Ven, and number 28, Pedro Porro. Holding the two midfield roles are Pape Sarr and Yves Bissouma, wearing 29 and 8 respectively. The three behind the forward is number 16, Timo Werner, number 10, James Maddison, and the former Nottingham Forest player, number 22, Brennan Johnson, with number 7, Son Heung-min, leading the line. For Nottingham Forest, who are managed by Nuno Espirito Santo, they line up with the Belgian international Matt Sells in goal, number 43, Ola Aina, number 40, Murillo, number 30, Andrew Omobamidele, and number 7, Nico Williams, make up the back four. Similar system here with the two holding midfielders, 28, Danilo, 22, Ryan Yates, he's the captain, and the three behind the forward is Callum Hudson-Odoi, wearing number 14, number 10, Morgan Gibbs-White, and number 21, Anthony Elanga, with Chris Wood holding the line for Forest today in impressive form. The substitutes for Spurs is Brandon Austin, the substitute goalkeeper, Radu Dragusin, Emerson Royal, Ben Davis, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Giovanni Lo Celso, Dejan Kulusevski, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Dane Scarlett. For Forest, it's Matt Turner, Harry Toffolo, Musa Niakate, Gonzalo Montiel, Ibrahima Sangara, Nicolas Dominguez, Giovanni Reina, the American international, Divock Origi, and Rodrigo Ribeiro. And our referee today is Simon Hooper, and the assistants are Adrian Holmes and Simon Long. Fourth official is Thomas Bramall, with Michael Salisbury and James Mannering in VAR. Spurs will be in their white shirts with the blue trim and blue shorts. Nottingham Forest in their change third jersey today, a mixture of blue and yellow and blue shorts for Nottingham Forest. What kind of challenge is this for Forest today, Luke? What are you expecting from them? What do you hope that they can achieve in this game today?
It's going to be incredibly difficult because Spurs are a very potent side going forward, and also with Romero and Van der Ven at the back. That's probably their strongest pairing of centre halves. It's going to be very difficult for Forest today, but I'm hoping that Forest can actually push on and back up that win they got in midweek.
Well, Nottingham Forest get the game underway with Ryan Yates dropping it back there. They're attacking the goal to our left at this impressive Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There's Porro. He drops the ball there to Van der Ven. Van der Ven plays it forward there to Timo Werner. Werner attacking the Nottingham Forest fullback. Attacking Anthony Elanga there. And it's given to Destiny Udogie. Udogie to Maddison. Maddison to Bissouma. Back with Maddison now. And Bissouma just drops the ball there back to Mickey van Romero gives the ball back to Van de Ven. And here now is Maddison just inside the Forest half of the field. Spurs dominating the possession early on. Other Premier League results today, 2-2 from earlier on at Old Trafford, Manchester United and Liverpool. Chelsea currently leading at Bramall Lane 1-0. Here's Bissouma. Bissouma gives the ball to the right-hand side there to Pape Sarr. Sarr drops the ball back to Romero. Inside the centre circle there is Van de Ven. He plays the ball down the left-hand side, down the left flank there to Werner. Werner gives the ball there to the number 38 there for Spurs, which is Destiny Udogie. Tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked, and it's going to be a corner to Tottenham Hotspur. Brennan Johnson getting in the middle there, and this corner is going to be taken by Pedro Porro down the left-hand side. And he goes for a short one and drops it back to Maddison. Maddison pulled back to the edge of the area to Bissouma again with a strike. But it's over the crossbar. But the first shot fired across Nottingham Forest bow early on, Luke. And it looks like Spurs are setting out their stall at the moment in the Nottingham Forest end.
Yeah, that was a quick shot from Bissouma trying to catch Matt Sells out quite quickly, but unfortunately it was too high and too wide. Probably needs to do better there.
Headed on by Nico Williams, and it's picked up by Van de Ven, who gives the ball to Bissouma. Bissouma plays the ball there to Christian Romero, and it's played down the right-hand side to Sarr. Sarr gives the ball away. That's a comfortable pick up by Danilo, and he slips the ball there to the number 14, Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's trying to get away from Brennan Johnson, but that's a good challenge by Johnson, and it's going to be a throw-in. And throw-in just down the left-hand side, almost midway inside the Forest half of the field, and it's going to be taken, I think, there by Ola Aina, who's going to take the throw-in there. And he just launches the ball forward, and it's just headed out by Porro again, and it's going to be another throw-in. Looks like Sheffield United have equalised against Chelsea, and it's Jayden Bogle on 32 minutes at Bramall Lane, so quite a shot taking place there, as that's cleared away by Matt Sells. It's now picked up in midfield there by Van de Ven, but he gives the ball away. Timo Werner wins the ball back off Ryan Yates. Timo Werner was alleged to have been fouled there by Simon Hooper has said. And now here's Pape Sarr in the midfield. He's going to play it down to the right wing position. And it's picked up again here by Pape Sarr. Gives the ball to Son. It's a good challenge there by Ryan Yates, and now maybe Forest can break. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi. He plays the ball through there, looking for Anthony Elanga, but quickly out there was Vicario. That was a quick break by Forest. The front three breaking quickly there, but now Spurs are back on the attack, and it's it's Brennan Johnson rather, tries to get the cross in, but Ola Aina makes a good challenge there. And a corner to Nottingham Forest. Corner to Tottenham, and we're going to get your opinion in a moment, Luke. Just had a quick comment. Why are we not in red shirts? Going for a draw. Come on, you Reds. Okay, well, we'll see. The corner is going to be taken here by Porro, and it looks like he may try to outswing this. He plays a short one instead, and it's James Maddison. Maddison looks like he's holding the ball up, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side, swings it in. It's headed out, and it falls to Timo Werner. That was just headed out there that time by Morgan Gibbs-White. Here is Yves Bissouma. He gives the ball to Timo Werner. Werner down the left wing. He tries to play the cross in, but that's blocked by Ryan Yates, and it goes out for a throw-in down the left-hand side, level with the Nottingham Forest penalty area. It's Timo Werner. He tries to set off Destiny Udogie on his way, but that's a good challenge by Nico Williams, and it's going to be another throw-in for Tottenham Hotspur. And Destiny Udogie throws the ball to Son Heung-min. And Son Heung-min just pops the ball back here to Bissouma. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Bissouma just trying to get away from Morgan Gibbs-White. He tries to do the slide rule pass there. And that pass was looking for Brennan Johnson, but it was blocked. And now Nottingham Forest going down the left-hand side, looking for the counter-attack. This game has started off really quickly. Morgan Gibbs-White just nips ahead of Pape Sarr that time. And now Ryan Yates has it. He was almost dispossessed. And in fact, he is fouled James Maddison, and it's going to be a free kick. Luke, early on here, Forest looking to catch Tottenham on the break, and they're quite threatening going forward here at the moment. They're looking pretty strong in that department.
Yeah, Spurs are very dangerous and trying to pen Forest in. I think Yates and Danilo need to do a little bit more in that midfield to control it a bit better, force Spurs a bit wider. But so far, I think Spurs have had the better of things. A few set pieces, which have been dealt well by Forest. But yeah, I'm expecting a little bit better from both sides currently. Decent start though.
Drops the ball here to Van der Ven. Van der Ven just lays it off to Maddison. Good ball by Maddison to Timo Werner down the left side. The cross comes into the middle, and Son Heung-min picks it up. He drops it to the edge of the area to Maddison. His shot is blocked, and it bounces back to Yves Bissouma, but that ball is won back by Chris Wood. Great work by the New Zealand international there. He sets Callum Hudson-Odoi off away on the left-hand side. Hudson-Odoi tries to play through Anthony Elanga there, and you can kind of see what Forest are trying to do here. They're trying to pick the ball up and lay the ball through to Anthony Elanga, who's, of course, as fast as Grease Lightning. That ball is played long over to Timo Werner, but it's won back comfortably by Morgan Gibbs-White. And now Anthony Elanga is away, but he's fouled that time by Destiny Udogie, and that's going to be a free kick. We're going to see our first yellow card of the day, Luke. It doesn't look like it. Would you say that's yellow card worthy? I mean, he was away, wasn't he?
I still think it's pretty early on for a yellow card, to be honest. I think Anthony Elanga still had a lot to do there. I'm not surprised he'd let that go. Maybe if that was 40 to 15 minutes into the game, it might have been a yellow card. At the minute, I'd say it's fairly okay.
The ball is with Matt Sells now. He plays a good ball out to Nico Williams down this right-hand side, and he plays it in there to Ryan Yates. That sets Anthony Elanga off on his way inside the penalty area down the right-hand side, and it's a poor ball into the middle, and comfortably won by Christian Romero. That is a very poor ball by Anthony Elanga. Here is James Maddison now, who is challenged by Ryan Yates, and James Maddison is complaining, saying that's 2 or 3 now. And wants to see a yellow card, and he's not going to get his wish, as Mickey van der Ven takes that free kick quickly and gives it to Bissouma, who lays it off to Christian Romero. Van der Ven played down the left-hand side here now to Timo Werner, who seems to have a lot of space in that position right now. Werner tries to get the cross into Son. Son pulled back to Maddison, but good challenge by Morgan Gibbs-White getting back there. And he clears the ball, but it only finds Timo Werner, who now hands the ball to Destiny Udogie. It's Yves Bissouma, back to Pape Sarr. Bissouma, about 30 yards out here, around about the centre. And it's now picked up here by Romero. And it's Bissouma. Maddison to Son. Pape Sarr. Bissouma. And here's Christian Romero, drops the ball out wide to Pedro Porro. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. It's a poor ball by Porro. Danilo clears the ball, but it's lost by Ryan Yates, and it's now picked up by James Maddison. Maddison tries to play the ball through, but that's a good block by Danielson. And Callum Hudson-Odoi has the ball, but the ball is given away by Ola Aina to Pape Sarr, who in turn gives it away to Morgan Gibbs-White. And Morgan Gibbs-White plays the ball forward looking for Danielson. Danielson is dispossessed, and here's Brennan Johnson. And Brennan Johnson there was looking for Maddison. And the ball is long. That might go in. That might go all the way. No, that just goes wide. Danielson with the effort, I should say Murillo with the effort, all the way from inside his own half of the field. And obviously Vicario was well out of his goal. And Luke, that wasn't far away.
It's not the first time Murillo's done that this season, tried to catch a goalkeeper off guard. I'd say that both sides have been very scrappy in possession so far. Nice try from Murillo. Probably needs to go more across the goal if he wants to really trouble Vicario. But both sides proving a little bit nervy on the ball so far.
Well, the cross comes in from Pedro Porro, and that is a good challenge by Omabamidele to knock that behind for a Spurs corner. And we're just going to see who's gone over on the far side to take it. It was taken quickly, but the linesman's flag has come up, signalling that the ball was not in the quadrant, or at least on the line of the quadrant. Porro is going to have another go now. Is he going to go short again? Indeed he does. He dropped it to Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson, the former Nottingham Forest player, finds James Maddison. Back to Porro. And to Johnson. Back to the edge of the area to Basuma with a shot. Oh, it takes a couple of deflections. And it looked like it took a deflection off Morgan Gibbs-White there. And again, on its way through. We'll just take a look at this. That could have gone anywhere. You can see the shot here. Yes, it just takes a deflection off Omabamidele and Chris Wood, actually. And, well, Luke, that really could have gone anywhere, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think the deflection of Omabamidele probably is looping it wide, and it just hits Chris Wood. He couldn't really do much about it, to be honest.
Well, the corner is going to be taken by Pedro Porro. He takes it short and drops it to Johnson. Johnson gives it to James Maddison. The cross is swung in there by Porro again, and it's hacked away this time by Omabamidele, and all the way inside to the Spurs half of the field. And it's picked up by Destiny Udogie. Gives the ball there to Basuma. Basuma finds James Maddison, and he gives the ball there to Van der Ven, who gives it to Pape Sarr. Sarr plays it down the left-hand side there, looking for Brennan Johnson. Johnson drops the ball back into his own half of the field, and it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper from Yves Basuma. Spurs will start again from the back, and it's Mickey Van der Ven. He drops the ball over to Christian Romero. Just inside his own half of the field now, crossing the halfway line, Christian Romero. And he then decides to take a step back ahead of Callum Hudson-Odoi and goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Vicario. And he gives the ball to Mickey Van der Ven. Van der Ven holds the ball up. We've had 13 minutes gone in this first half at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is still 0-0. A long ball played forward looking to Son Heung-min. Andrew Omabamidele gets in front of that and plays the ball forward now, and it's Chris Wood. Chris Wood gives the ball to Morgan Gibbs-White, and he gets it back as Chris Wood, but his pass is intercepted by Brennan Johnson, who knocks it all the way back to Romero, and that's a foul in the middle of the park, and that's going to be the first yellow card of the game. And it looks like that is going to go to, we'll just take a look, that's going to Ryan Yates, the captain, I believe. Let's just take a look. Yeah, he catches, it's a cynical challenge on James Maddison. Would you agree with that?
Yes, it's not the first, second or third tackle that Ryan Yates has done in the game, so it's a touching up exercise. Not surprised. Maddison was wanting a yellow card on the last tackle that Yates did, and it was just silly, really. He does those fouls quite a lot, Ryan Yates.
Well, it's picked up here by Christian Romero. Christian Romero, he plays the ball down the left-hand side, looking for Brennan Johnson. Good interception there by Murillo, and it's played forward. Ola Aina now has the ball, and he plays it to Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White just trying to trick Pedro Porro. Porro not buying it, and it's returned to the goalkeeper by Pape Sarr. Vicario releases the ball, and it's given to Christian Romero. Romero just checking his passing for a moment. He gives it to Basuma, who flicks the ball on there to Son Heung-min. Son Heung-min plays a ball forward to Timo Werner. It's played across and it's turned into his own net by Murillo, and Spurs take a 1-goal lead. And Murillo just turns it into his own goal, and that is disappointing from Tottenham Hotspur's perspective. Murillo just, I don't think there's really much he could have done about it, quite frankly. Behind him, I think, waiting just behind him, he is onside, is Werner. Werner plays the ball across. Yeah, there was two Spurs players behind him it's one of those where you're either fortunate enough for it to go wide or it goes into your net. And Luke, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it was good play from Spurs to get it into Timo Werner, and the ball just fizzed across. Murillo just sticks out a leg. Unfortunately, he's in the middle of the goal, so if he touches it like he has, it's going to go into the net. They still
We're
are
going to have
checking
a
for possible offside, though, aren't they?
They are. They are. This is the VAR check now being checked here. It looks onside, and indeed, the goal has in fact been given. And Tottenham get themselves an early lead after 16 minutes through the own goal from Murillo. He came very close to scoring at one end, and then he turns into his own goal on the other. It's picked up by Danilo. That's a good challenge by Pape Sarr. And here's Son Heung-min now for Spurs, racing over the halfway line. A good ball by Son, looking for Pape Sarr, but that's a good interception that time by Omar Bamadeli. And the ball is just bouncing around there right now. And Son Heung-min is trying to bring the ball under control. He finds Yves Bissouma, who gives it to James Maddison. Maddison's through ball comes back to Bissouma on the rebound. Bissouma with a shot. Oh, whistles wide. As Spurs come close again. That's a really good effort by Yves Bissouma, Luke. Just took it there. It's about 20 yards out and not too far away.
Decent passage of play there. Bissouma's flashed that straight across. It probably needed to go a little bit closer in, but yeah, flashes wide.
Well, goal kick. And it's taken quickly by Murillo and given back to Matt Sell, who clears the ball downfield. Brought under control by Chris Wood, who gives it to Ola Aina. Aina gives it to Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Callum Hudson-Odoi unable to control the ball, and it rolls out of play for a throw-in. Just a couple of yards inside the Forest half of the field. And this is, of course, not what Nottingham Forest would have wanted. And the throw-in is going to be taken by Ola Aina. And he just drops the ball back there to Murillo, who then gives it to Omar Bamadeli, and it's given to Nico Williams. Williams now just trying to skittle away from Timo Werner. He plays the ball nicely to Morgan Gibbs-White. Chance now for Forest on the break. Here's Morgan Gibbs-White. Good ball down the left-hand side, and it's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Good shot by Odoi, but it's right down the throat of Vicario. But that's some positive play by Nottingham Forest, Luke.
Yes, too close to the goalkeeper Vicario there. Wasn't really going to trouble him too much. Decent play from Gibbs-White to ping it out to Hudson-Odoi. But again, the execution probably needs to go across the keeper a bit more.
Half-time at Bramall Lane. It is 1-1 there between Sheffield United and Chelsea, as Chelsea continue to struggle. And you have to wonder that if Chelsea come away from Bramall Lane without a win, you've got to start wondering about Pochettino's job. Although it's my understanding that they can't fire him because of PSR rules. Here's Timo Werner now, under the challenge of Nico Williams. Williams wins the ball back well. He does a quick 1-2 there with Anthony Elanga. And here's Williams, gives it back to Elanga. Elanga gives it to Yates. And Yates now tries to set Nico Williams, but that pass is short and it's intercepted there by Son Heung-min. And the ball is played forward by Destiny Udogie to James Maddison. Maddison, good ball to the left-hand side, but that is well intercepted by Callum Hudson-Odoi. And here's Danilo. He drops it down to Ola Aina. And just, there's a foul there on Morgan Gibbs-White, and it's going to be a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Simon Hooper from Merseyside, as we look at Taiwo Awoniyi. He is still not fit. My goodness me, do Nottingham Forest need him back, Luke?
Yes and no. I think that Chris Wood's been doing a decent job so far. What I'd say about Spurs, though, in this first half is they've definitely pressed Forest quite far up, make it very difficult for them to really play out.
Well, we've had 20 minutes gone here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Nottingham Forest 0. And there's Ange Postecoglou, who will be, I suspect, to be quite happy at the moment with the way Spurs are playing. Here's Romero. And he goes all the way back to Vicario. As Spurs will build again once again from the back. It's Mickey van der Ven. Van de Ven just inside his own half here, and he's just going to go back and drop it to Christian Romero. Romero, he's got options left and right. Mickey Van de Ven and Son Heung-min. Van de Ven finds Son Heung-min. And here's Son. He's got options available as well, and he drops the ball over to Christian Romero. Patient build-up by Spurs. Over on the far side is Brennan Johnson. Johnson picks it up on the left-hand side now. Johnson holds the ball up, and he slips the ball there to James Maddison. It's now with Pedro Porro. Porro sets off Pape Sarr on his way, under pressure by Murillo. Murillo does very well to win that ball, and the referee says play on, no foul there. Murillo down the left-hand side now, over the halfway line. What options is he going to... Oh, it's a good challenge by Yves Bissouma, but it does break loose to Ryan Yates, who sets off Nico Williams down the right-hand side. And it's now with Anthony Elanga, who gives it back to Ryan Yates, captain of Nottingham Forest. And Nico Williams gives it back to Yates. Yates now just pulls into the middle of the park, but he's going to give it to Anthony Elanga down the right. And that's good work there by Yates, setting off Anthony Elanga. He's fouled there by Destiny Udogie. Surely, the referee says no. Well, I have to say that looked like a foul to me. Here's Yves Bissouma. Gives the ball to Udogie. Now he sets off Timo Werner on his way. I'll get Luke's thoughts on that tackle in a moment. Son Heung-min down the right-hand side now. Son Heung-min, corner of the penalty area. Given to James Maddison, and Maddison just holds the ball up. He's under pressure there from Danielson. And he gives the ball to Bissouma back, and Maddison gives it to Son. And Son lays the ball off, and Son goes down under the challenge and he's claiming a penalty. Simon Hooper's not having any of that. Let's have a look. The ball was flicked through to Son. I don't think he was anywhere near the ball. Let's have a look. It's outside the penalty area anyway. Regarding not just that one, Luke, but the previous challenge that wasn't given in Forest's favour.
Well, I was going to say the one on Elanga was just physical. It was just a brush off. But if you're not going to give that one down that end, then you don't give that one on Son either. Got to be a bit more consistent with it, and I just think that neither were fouls, to be fair.
It's Timo Werner now down the left-hand side. He plays the ball through to Maddison. Maddison has a bit of space. He gives it to Destiny Udogie. Back to Maddison. Across to Yves Bissouma. Bissouma might strike one here, and it's right at Matt Sells. But once again, Spurs turning the screw on this Nottingham Forest defence. As the strike took a little bit of a deflection from Gibbs White, but the deflection was kind to Matt Sells. Do you think, Luke, that Nottingham Forest are just giving Spurs too much space in and around their penalty area?
Forest needs to be careful, because if they keep giving that much space to Yves Bissouma, at some point he's going to get one right. He's had 3 now.
And it's cleared away there, and here it comes back to James Maddison. Maddison across there to Son. Son, the shot is blocked by Danilo, and it just breaks loose to Chris Wood, who tries to set off Callum Hudson-Odoi in his way. Morgan Gibbs-White flicks the ball forward, and Callum Hudson-Odoi is chasing that, but Mickey Van de Ven gets back and drops it back to the goalkeeper, Vicario. And right now you can see the Spurs fans, probably definitely the happier of the two at the moment, because with 24 minutes gone, they lead against Nottingham Forest. And the ball is played down the left now to Timo Werner, who tries a one-time pass looking for Destiny Udogie. Ryan Yates gets in the way of that and sets off Anthony Elanga down the right. Anthony Elanga tries to get through Timo Werner. Werner is alleged to have fouled Anthony Elanga, and it's going to be a yellow card for the German international. And he goes into the referee's notebook today on 25 minutes. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it was a bit late. It was 1 foot sliding across at Elanga as he was running at full speed. I'd say that that's probably a yellow card. I'd expect a Forest player to have got that if they'd have done it so in reverse. Yeah, that's got to be a yellow card.
Well, Tottenham Hotspur on 57 points. It's actually their most since 2018-2019, where they had 61. They finished 4th that year. As it stands right now, the fourth now, as the free kick is taken by Morgan Gibbs-White, right across to the far side of the penalty area. And here's Callum Hudson-Odoi, swings it in, and Vicario opts to punch it. It might have been easier to have caught it. Son heads the ball down there to Pape Sarr, and he gives the ball to Udogie, who lays it off to Bissouma, who in turn gives it to Sarr. And here's Brennan Johnson now as Spurs moving forward. Johnson down the right-hand side, gives it back to Sarr. Sarr's cross is too close to Matt Sells, and it's easily taken by the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, and it's released to Andrew Omobamidele, and he gives the ball to Elanga. Williams, back to Omobamidele, and here's Murillo. Murillo plays the ball down the left-hand side there to Hudson-Odoi. You see the shots 8-2, 2 on target for Tottenham and 1 on target for Forest. As the ball is now with Anthony Elanga. He slips the ball forward to Nico Williams down the right-hand side, who returns it to Anthony Elanga. Elanga gets across, and there's Chris Wood, and it's 1-1. Forest are level, and Chris Wood is the goal scorer, and that is hardly surprising. We've just seen Chris Wood continually wrap up the goals for Nottingham Forest, and that is actually Chris Wood's 12th goal of the season. And it's a great pass by Anthony Elanga that sets off Nico Williams on his way, and then he plays the ball to Anthony Elanga again. His first time cross finds Chris Wood, and you have to say that Christian Romero just wasn't close enough, Luke.
Spurs turned into Forest a little bit with that goal because they were all over the place and we just passed round them, and it took a bit of a deflection actually in the path to Chris Wood off the Elanga chance. It comes off the leg of Romero. Pedro Porro tried to get there, but it was goes straight through his legs by Chris Wood. But I'd say it's against a run of play because Spurs have had most of the ball and most of the chances, and Forest just countered and scored.
But this is what you see in football, isn't it, Luke? It's what we saw earlier on today. Chance after chance for Liverpool, and before you know it, Manchester United are 2-1 up. It's you've got to take your chances, and so far Spurs have got the own goal, but some of the chances they've had, they should have done better. There's Porro chasing after that one, and Murillo just gets in the way of that and releases it forward, looking for Ola Aina, but it's won by Yves Bissouma, who releases it to Mickey van der Ven. Van der Ven plays it down the left-hand side to Timo Werner. Werner drops the ball back there to Van der Ven. Van der Ven gives the ball to Maddison. Maddison drop back to Van der Ven and plays the ball across there to Christian Romero. Romero now to Brennan Johnson, the former Nottingham Forest player, to Pedro Porro. And it's Romero again. Romero now is just not under any pressure at the moment. He just lifts the ball there to Son Heung-min, and Son Heung-min gives the ball to Van der Ven. Then back to James Maddison, as they are looking to just work Forest out of their shape here. James Maddison now, he's got Brennan Johnson over on the left-hand side. He's found Johnson, corner of the penalty area there, gives it to Porro. And again, down the left there is Porro again. Porro just plays the ball forward there, looking for Son Heung-min. Murillo was awake to that and cleared the ball downfield. You can see what Spurs are trying to do here, Luke. They're just trying to work Forest out of position right now.
It's very impressive play. The movement and the passing is impressive. I just think that they're not getting it quite right so far in the final areas.
Here is Bissouma, gives the ball to Van der Ven. Van der Ven now just inside his own half of the field. He's going to go down the left-hand side to Timo Werner again. He seems to have seen a lot of the ball in this first half, and he gives the ball to James Maddison. Maddison just going backwards now. He's then midway inside the Nottingham Forest half of the field, and it's Maddison again now. He's got a couple of options available, both left and right. He decides to go to the middle to pick up Mickey van der Ven. Van der Ven links up with Christian Romero, who plays it down the right-hand side to Brennan Johnson. He's been fairly effective in this first half, as he goes all the way back to Christian Romero, who in turn goes all the way back to Vicario. as Spurs will continue this patient play now with Mickey van der Ven, who gives the ball to Timo Werner. Oh, that's a really good challenge that time by Nico Williams on Werner. And now Nico Williams coming away with Werner chasing him down. It's given to Alanga, back to Williams. Is he fouled there? The referee said no. And now it's played forward by James Maddison, looking for Son Heung-min, but that's a poor ball by the England international, and it goes out of play. Forest looking quite dangerous on the break once they start to get that right, Luke. What I'm seeing from them right now is at the moment they're holding their shape, but when they break out, they're very quick and can be threatening.
Yeah, and I think Spurs are struggling to really pass around that, especially since the 20th minute mark. Nico Williams is getting tighter onto Timo Werner, and I think if Maddison could have got that ball.
Just a moment, sorry.
Right.
Here's Son, edge of the area. Son, he plays the ball now to Werner. Werner gets the cross in, and it's over. It's a very poor cross from Timo Werner. Sorry for interrupting you, Luke. Carry on with your point.
Yeah, if Timo Werner got that ball before, he'd have been able to have had more of a run at Omobamidele. But as it was, the ball was played too far ahead, and that was just hopeless ball across by Timo Werner. You have to do better with that.
Yeah, that's a 2-week fine for me. 2-week wages fine for me if I was in charge. That's a pretty poor play, especially from an international footballer. And we're just looking at a young man there who's enjoying himself. He's with the visiting Nottingham Forest fans. Having a day that he's sure to remember for a long time. And it's picked up by Pape Sarr, but he tried to launch it into the area, but Omobamidele clears it, looking for Morgan Gibbs-White, but between Porro and Van der Ven, they get the ball back to the goalkeeper, Vicario. Here's Basuma, and it's given away by Basuma, and here is Hudson-Odoi now into the penalty area. He tries to get the cross in, but that's good play there by Pedro Porro. Just gets his leg across to stop that cross from coming in. It's going to be a corner on the right-hand side for Tottenham Hotspur, though. For Nottingham Forest, though. It's going to be their first corner of the game. And Chris Wood going to stand right in front of Vicario. This is something he used to do when he played for Burnley, to try to create havoc for the goalkeeper. Alanga's in the 6-yard box as well. Murillo is there. And the usual at the edge of the penalty area, Danilo and Callum Hudson-Odoi. It's going to be taken by Morgan Gibbs-White. And he's going to swing this one in. And it's a poor corner. Doesn't beat the first man. Comes to the edge of Porro. Porro heads it out, but only as far as Callum Hudson-Odoi, who stumbled but managed to maintain possession. Gives it back to Nico Williams, who plays a beautiful ball down the left-hand side to Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White, corner of the penalty area, tries to swing the cross in. Again, it's a poor one. And Destiny Udogie heads the ball out of play. And the throw-in is taken quickly to Danilo. And Danilo knocks it back to Murillo. And here now is Omobamidele, who gives the ball back to Murillo. Murillo, second half underway at Bramall Lane. It's still 1-1. Here is Callum Hudson-Odoi. He pulls the ball back to Ryan Yates. Oh, a super save. He's got the 1. Oh, it bounces back to Morgan Gibbs-White, who shoots it wide. You can tell me, Luke, how Chris Wood misses that. That is an unbelievable miss. We just take a look at this. First of all, it starts with Callum Hudson-Odoi down the left-hand side. He swings the ball into Ryan Yates, forcing a super save from Vicario. He had the entire goal to shoot at, and he ends up hitting the post. Luke, your comments?
Well, great ball across by Aina to Yates, and it was a great save. I think Wood just arrived on it too quick and just rushed it. If he'd have actually been more calm, we'd have probably made that 2-1. And then Gibbs-White just shoots wide. On the corners, I really wish that Gibbs-White had come off court.
Here's Timo Werner now, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Tries to play through Maddison, and that's good shielding work by the captain, Ryan Yates, watching that just go wide there. And Luke, sorry, you was making a point.
Yeah, when you consistently watch players take corners, and they don't beat the first man on a lot of them, why are they still taking them? And just look at this Chris Wood one again. He just rushes that shot completely and just hits the post.
Oh, those are kind words, Luke. Those are kind words. Not like you when somebody misses from there. Well, the ball's out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. If we take a look there at Nuno Espirito Santo, he will look back on that opportunity, and you just wonder whether Forest may be punished for that miss later. Max Stells clears the ball downfield. Wood goes up to challenge Van de Ven. It breaks loose nicely for Elanga. And Elanga gives the ball there to Nico Williams. And it's laid off there by Ryan Yates to Elanga. And it's Danilo. Danilo gives it to Ola Aina. Aina gives the ball down the left-hand side now to Callum Hudson-Odoi, corner of the penalty area. Callum Hudson-Odoi moves into the middle. And he gives the ball to Ryan Yates. Ryan Yates down the right-hand side to Nico Williams. Williams pulled back there well, he was looking for Anthony Elanga, but he still maintains possession, does Nico Williams. And it's given back to Danilo. Danilo plays a great ball to Anthony Elanga. Elanga with a cross towards the back post, but there's nobody there, unfortunately, for Forest. And Pedro Porro clears the ball. Promising build-up, Luke.
Promising build-up, but again, nobody was arriving on that back post, and that's really poor from Forest. They really should have better players arriving. Also, there really needs to be a better ball from Elanga. The Spurs need to be wary of how much possession Forest are now having in this game.
Well, here is Hudson-Odoi. This is a quick 1-2 with Murillo, and it's now with Andrew Omobamidele. He plays the ball through there to Anthony Elanga, and Elanga's away. This is great work by Elanga. He gets a shot away, but it's right at Vicario. And what we're really now seeing is a shift in the play, Luke. We're seeing Forest coming more and more into this game now, and at the moment they're looking like the better team.
Yeah, exactly. Spurs have lost all impetus of coming forward, retaining the ball, getting the balls out wide to Johnson and Werner, and trying to put those dangerous balls across. It seems like in the last 10 minutes, Danilo and Yates have been really winning that midfield battle. Yeah.
Here's Son. Tries to get the cross in, but it's a good block that time by Omobamidele. And it's Basuma who gives the ball to Timo Werner. Werner down the left-hand side. Is he going to get the cross in, Werner? It's another poor cross. Despite all the possession he's had, you have to say Timo Werner has really not been performing with the final ball. It's a throw-in for Spurs, which is going to be taken by Destiny Udogie. Udogie is almost level with the Forest penalty area down the left-hand side with this throw-in. Udogie is just taking his time now. He finds Timo Werner, who drops the ball back to Destiny Udogie. Udogie has got Anthony Elanga around him, along with Nico Williams. Here's Basuma, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side, gives the ball back to Udogie, and it's flicked on by Madison, trying to return the ball to Udogie, and Andrew Omobamidele just nipping in there. And we are going to have a goal kick, as Matt Sells is going to take his time with this one, no doubt. We're almost at the 40-minute mark here. Tottenham 1, Nottingham Forest 1. And, well, this has been a slow start by Forest, but they really have come into it as the game has gone on, and they've looked pretty impressive. That's heads on by Chris Wood there, looking for Morgan Gibbs-White. Oh, stumbling on the ball there is Pape Sarr, and Forest win the ball back now, and it's Ryan Yates. Gives the ball down the right-hand side to Nico Williams. Williams holds the ball up and gives the ball back to Ryan Yates. Forest playing very, very well right now, and it's going all the way back to Matt Sells as they give the ball, as he releases the ball to Andrew Omobamidele. Omobamidele plays it to Elanga, just tries to skip away from Werner, and he plays the ball back into the middle of the park to Murillo. Murillo, good ball, finds Ola Aina. Aina just cutting into the middle now, and he plays it down the left-hand side to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Forest now looking forward. It's possession football inside the Spurs half of the field. What can they do about it? Chris Wood loses the ball that time to Basuma. And just shielding possession there is Christian Romero, and he hands it back to the goalkeeper Vicario. He releases it to Van de Ven, who gives it to Romero, and he was looking for Destiny Udogie, but it was way over Destiny Udogie's head and out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in as we now see a more concerned look on Ange Postecoglou. And we're looking at about 4 minutes to go in this half. It is still 1-1. Andrew Omobamidele. It's been a fairly free-flowing half. I don't expect it to be too much in ways of time added on. Murillo tries to play the ball through, looking for Morgan Gibbs-White. Just shielding the ball there was Destiny Udogie, who then clears the ball to Timo Werner. Werner is back fairly deep right now, and there's a challenge there on Destiny Udogie by Chris Wood, and that is going to be a free kick. Do you think Ange Postecoglou has something to worry about here, Luke, with the way Forest are playing right now? I'll get your thoughts on that in a minute, because here comes Pape Sarr. It's end-to-end stuff here. Pape Sarr gives the ball to Brennan Johnson, cuts inside the penalty area, right-hand side, gets the cross, and it's behind everyone for a goal kick. Luke, do you think maybe he has something to be concerned about, Ange Postecoglou, or do you think he just needs to look at making some adjustments maybe to the shape, because at the moment Forest looking very dangerous?
I think with the way that Spurs are playing, it's not quick enough to move Forest around. It's going across the pitch quite well, but it's not quick enough to really drag players out of position from Forest shape. So when they're getting the ball out to Werner, it's allowing Williams to come tight in and block the ball. Whereas if they played a bit more of a decent passing play, they'd have been able to have generated something a bit better.
Here is Basuma. Basuma just drops the ball to Pape Sarr, who lays it off to Christian Romero. He gives it now to Pedro Porro. Porro has got Brennan Johnson alongside him. Johnson picks it up down the right-hand side, drops it back to Romero, and it's now given to Brennan Johnson in the right wing position. Brennan Johnson just drops the ball there to Yves Basuma, and Basuma drops it back to Romero, and he gives it back to Basuma as Tottenham Hotspur still just knocking the ball around casually. Here's Son Heung-min. He gives the ball there to Porro, and it's now back with Basuma. Good long ball over to the left-hand side to Timo Werner. That was a wonderful pass. He laid it off to James Maddison. It's now back to Basuma again. Maddison again, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side, given to Timo Werner. Back to James Maddison. Maddison holds the ball up, and he gives the ball there to Basuma again. And it's Timo Werner down the left side. Werner plays the ball into the middle. It's about 30 yards out. There's Son Heung-min. Drops the ball back to Porro, to Romero rather, and it's crossed in. It's given to Brennan Johnson, who tries to cross it, and it's blocked and cleared only as far as Romero. Back to Son Heung-min, edge of the area. They don't want to let him have too much possession there. It's crossed in by Brennan Johnson. It takes a deflection by Ona Aina and lands, I think, just on the top of the net. And Yates is doing something. I'm not sure exactly what he's signalling there. But is upset about something. And I just wonder whether he feels he's been tackled in a way that is considered to be highly inappropriate. Let's have a look. Oh, there's nothing in that. Oh, that's ridiculous. There's nothing in that. That is preposterous. What a preposterous thing to do. I saw this from Ben White actually on Saturday. He ought to be booked for that, Ryan Yates. That is a deliberate attempt to get a player sent off.
I'd like to see the close-up, but it does look like he's made a meal of that, Ryan Yates. Maddison should not have been doing it in the first place, but the reaction was definitely over the top.
Yeah, well, we're going to see now that what we are going to see, in fact, is Simon Hooper is just talking to somebody. He's trying to move away from he's getting the two captains together here. And he's just going to have a word with them and tell them both to calm it down a little bit. And I think that's sensible refereeing by Simon Hooper.
Yeah, on that Madison thing, I just don't think he needed to do the action in the first place. But Ryan Yates needs to remember he's a central midfielder, and physicality is going to happen. And doing that, trying to get him to get sent off thing is just not okay.
Cross comes in and headed out by Murillo, and it falls to Madison. And again, it's another opportunity to be crossed in by Brennan Johnson, but it goes over and out and wide. We have 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. We've played almost about a minute of that now. We might as well just get your first half assessment, Luke.
Yeah, it's been decent so far, end to end. Spurs have controlled the first half, well, first 10 minutes. Forest have grown into it between 20 and 30-minute mark where they got their goal, and Spurs have really struggled to come back into match the kind of work ethic I think that Forest have been putting in. Williams has had the better of Werner, but yeah, in the end, I'd say that my two stars have been Williams and Basuma, one from each side.
Okay, and the ball is played to Nico Williams now, and he just stumbles with Williams, and he gives it's Basuma now, and his ball is a poor one as well, and here's Andrew Omabamidele played into the middle to Chris Wood, and out to the right hand side there, and given to Nico Williams, and Williams goes down under a challenge from Destiny Udogie. And just going back to that incident with Ryan Yates, I think when you're trying to get a player sent off, I think you should be booked for that. And I think I'm tired of referees letting that go. Ben White got away with it on Saturday for Arsenal. Ryan Yates has just gotten away. It's not okay. It's not, like as you said, it's not okay. And I think referees should be stepping in that situation.
Yeah, I just don't think that there was anything in it from either side. I don't think Yates particularly needed to do that. But again, there was nothing in it that really resulted in anything, to be honest. I just move on.
Cross came in from Callum Hudson-Odoi, and it's turned over the bar from Vicario. It was a really good quick free kick taken that allowed Hudson-Odoi just to get to the byline and get that cross in, and it was hooked over the crossbar by the goalkeeper Vicario. The second corner of the game for Forest. Morgan Gibbs-White again. Let's see if he can deliver a better one this time. Right in front of those Spurs fans, Morgan Gibbs-White gets a cross in deep into the middle. It's just headed out there by Udogie. The Italian international just heads that ball out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in, which Nico Williams is going to go over to take. We've just about played we've played over the 3 minutes now. We're basically in whatever time Simon Hooper is adding on at his discretion at this point. And it's going to be taken by Ola Aina. Is he going to look for the long one? It looks like he is. Ola Aina, it's a really long ball in, and having to stretch for that is the goalkeeper Vicario, and the referee has just stopped play. And is that half time? It looks like it. Yep, that is half time. So we're at half time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Goals early on, an own goal on 15 minutes by Murillo, and then an equaliser by Chris Wood on 26 minutes. Chris Wood also had a golden opportunity to make it 2. But we are level at half time here, and we are going to take a 15-minute break now, and we'll be back for the second half. Welcome to the start of the second half. It looks to me like Spurs are making a couple of substitutions. Rodrigo Bentancur and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg appears to be coming on for Spurs as changes are made. And what do you think about these changes? Are you surprised by this, Luke?
No, I'm not surprised. I would assume they are going into the middle of the park for Basuma and Sarr. Oh, they are. And that's probably just to get a bit more of a control into the midfield. Forest basically controlled that into the half in midfield, and Postecoglou probably looks to it and thinks we need to get more of a hold on this in midfield if we're going to have any chance of gaining more goals in the second half.
All right. So Spurs are going to attack the attacking towards the right side in the second half. You mentioned during the break that you have a point on the Maddison and Yates thing.
Yeah, I watched it back on a video at half time, and he kind of punches Yates in the chest. It was very soft, but I do wonder a little bit whether if that was in another game, that might have had a different outcome.
Yeah, I think maybe if the referee had had maybe taken a different view on it though. But it's if these, I just think it's a cowardly way of doing it to go down like that when the contact is very minimal. It's now back with Van der Ven, as Basima and Sarah confirmed as the substitutes off, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Rodrigo Bentancur are on in their place, an attempt to shore up the midfield. Media, radio, jingles and gaming. Evening, lads. Another week gone by for me. Good to hear from you, media, radio and jingles. I'm good, thanks. Hope you're having a good weekend as the cross coming in from James Maddison goes behind for a corner. And it looks like that came off Ryan Yates. So the Spurs get the second half underway with a corner. It says 6-1 of the game. And it's taken short to the edge of the area to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. He gets a shot away. Oh, a super save by Max Dowles. That was a sparkling save as that short corner was pulled to the edge of the area to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. It took a deflection as well. It looks like it took a deflection off Murillo maybe. Oh no, actually off Morgan Gibbs-White. That really was a sparkling save, Luke, and I'll get your thoughts on that just after this corner, which is also taken quickly. Goes back to Højbjerg again, and he gives the ball there to Porro down the right-hand side. Porro turns the ball to Højbjerg. Højbjerg just decides to go back towards Destiny Udogie. Udogie gives the ball to Højbjerg again, as already the changes have paid some dividends as Maddison plays the ball to Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson just tries to escape Ola Aina, and Ola Aina just gets a touch on it, knocks it behind for a corner. Just quickly on that save, Luke. That was a really sparkling save, wasn't it?
Had to be alive to that one. Spurs have got some early dominance over Forest in the first 2 or 3 minutes of this half. Really pushing. But yeah, I would have expected that with the changes that were made. They've been effective in the first couple of minutes.
Well, here come Forest now with Callum Hudson-Odoi. He plays it towards the right-hand side to Nico Williams. Williams gets the cross in. There's Chris Wood with the header. Oh, he puts it wide. They're claiming offside. But that is another golden opportunity for the New Zealand international, and one again that he really should have scored. But he is in an offside position, so it wouldn't have stood anyway. VAR would have looked at that. In fact, the official's flag did go up eventually. But, well, again, that would have been a golden opportunity. Just to keep you updated as well, Chelsea are 2-1 up at Bramall Lane. Madwecki on 66 minutes, sparing Chelsea's blushes there. And glad to hear you had a pleasant weekend there, media, radio and gaming. And here is the ball by Udogie, gives it to Timo Werner down the left. Timo Werner trying to get ahead of Nico Williams. Good cross by Werner, and on the back post there is Brennan Johnson. He just turns it over the crossbar. Again, an opportunity really. Maybe perhaps just a half chance with this. At the rate that this ball was coming across, it was much harder for Brennan Johnson to get his foot over that, and it goes over and out of play. And we've played almost 5 minutes of the second half, and it is still 1-1. And to be honest, this Nottingham Forest team has started the second half quite well. They still look dangerous coming forward, as Murillo plays the ball forward there, just looking for Morgan Gibbs-White, but it's comfortably won by Christian Romero. He gives the ball to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who in turn gives the ball away. And now Forest can come forward. Nico Williams trying to play the pass through to Callum Hudson-Odoi, but it just breaks loose there. Kind of scrappy at the moment. Ola Aina then plays the ball off Brennan Johnson, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. But once again, Luke, Forest looking pretty sharp going forward.
Absolutely. We've had a couple of chances in this first half. Wood at one end and Johnson at the other. Both probably the clearest of the second half. But yeah, Forest are looking very dangerous, very sharp, with Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs-White, and especially Nico Williams. I'm very impressed with him so far in this game.
Ola Aina now is going to throw this ball into the penalty area. We saw the one at the end of the first half. He got a lot of distance on it. Gets some distance on this, and it's into the penalty area. It's flicked on, and there's Wood. And it's right at the goalkeeper this time. Bit more of a harder opportunity that time. But now Timo Werner's on the break down the left-hand side. He's under pressure by Morgan Gibbs-White. He tries to turn away from Morgan Gibbs-White, and he drops him back to Udogie. Udogie plays the ball to Madison, and he tries to find Son. Son goes down under the challenge of Omar Bamadeli, but it goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. As we look again at this Chris Wood opportunity, he gets it on target that time. It was just much harder, I think, for him to direct his header with any power at the goal. But he's certainly making a nuisance of himself and having some chances. Here's Romero, plays it down the right-hand side to Brennan Johnson, and then given to Benton Kerr. Going down in the penalty area there is James Madison, but Brennan Johnson still has it. Gives it to Benton Kerr, back to Porro, down the right-hand side. Porro gets towards the byline and gets across him, but that is a good block by Murillo and puts the ball out of play for a corner for Tottenham Hotspur. He goes down there quite easily, I think, there does Madison. I'd like to take another look at that in a moment, but we're going to have a corner for Spurs first. Here's Madison, and he plays the ball now to Porro, down the right. Porro plays it into Brennan Johnson. It's back to Son Heung-min on the edge of the area. And now here's an opportunity for Van de Ven, and he strikes it into the roof of the net, leaving Max Sells standing on the spot, and Spurs take a 2-1 lead on 52 minutes. It's Mickey Van de Ven. And, well, Luke, that really was an interesting manoeuvre from the corner. And you can just take another look at this again before I get your comment. It was a short by Porro to Johnson. Johnson played it to Madison, back to Porro, and then Porro pulls it back to Johnson and back to the edge of the area to Son Heung-min, who just laid it off the Van de Ven, who just rifled it into the roof of the net. And the Forest defence just doesn't get close enough here, in my opinion, Luke.
Forest weren't alive enough. The ball's going across their box and across their box and across their box, and it falls to Van de Ven, who absolutely slams it into the corner. I mean, you don't save those, it's just way too fast. But no one's alive to it. No one goes and meets Van de Ven when the ball's going across the box and across the box, and they can see that Van de Ven's going to be in space. Nobody covers that off. It's all kind of, yeah, we'll wait for it to happen, we'll wait for it to happen, we'll wait for it to happen. Oh, yeah. Conceded. It's ridiculous, but great play from Spurs. It's very smart. You can tell that they've worked on that in training, with the ball coming across. But it's really poor defending from Forest there.
It's certainly a bad goal to concede, especially since Forest have been doing so well towards the end of the first half and even the start of the second half. But then you have to look back at chances that have been missed. But it's 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur now. And let's see if Forest can get themselves back into this game. Here's Murillo. Gives it to Ola Aina down the left-hand side. Aina just trying to turn away there from Brennan Johnson. He's under pressure from Brennan Johnson and Son Heung-min. And he's fouled that time by Brennan Johnson and wins a free kick. Just a few yards in from the touchline down the left-hand side as far as Nottingham Forest are concerned. And, well, the free kick is taken by Murillo. That's a really wonderful ball to Murillo, right to the feet of Anthony Elanga, and he sets off Nico Williams on his way. Nico Williams now gets into the penalty area on the right-hand side, the cross to the back post to Hudson-Odoi, but he's not able to pull that back across, and it goes behind for a goal kick. But that was really quick breakout by Forest, and have shown themselves to be dangerous from these positions. But Callum Hudson-Odoi, his finish there wasn't great, was it, Luke?
No, and really they need to be taking those chances, Nottingham Forest. They're going to get made to pay even further if they don't start taking these chances, as Spurs have already shown with Mickey Van de Ven goal a couple of minutes ago.
Well, I can tell you one team who'll be happy with this result so far, and that's Luton Town. Here is Morgan Gibbs-White. He delivers the ball down the left-hand side to Callum Hudson-Odoi, overlapping his owner Aina. He decides to drop it back to Danilo. Danilo gives it to Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White, nice fancy little back heel to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Drop back to Danielson. Hudson-Odoi. Murillo, as Morgan Gibbs-White tries that one more time. Pushed his luck a little too far there, though, but Nottingham Forest win it back. And it's Callum Hudson-Odoi beats 1, 2, and almost 3 Spurs players there. But Christian Romero wins the ball back and almost intercepted by Ola Aina, who was slipping on the surface. And that is a very late challenge, is it? The referee allows the game to go on, but I think we're going to see a yellow card here. That was a very late challenge, and Morgan Gibbs-White is not pleased with that, but I don't think he can have any arguments. This is very, very late indeed. Luke?
Way too late. I mean, why is he flying through Bentancur like that? You just let the ball run and let somebody else get to the ball. He didn't get the ball. I disagree with what Nuno's saying. He didn't get the ball at all. He was just late and he arrived and he was stretching. No. Take the other card and move on.
Well, it goes back to the goalkeeper, Vicario. Vicario gives the ball now to Christian Romero. Spurs now building up again from the back. Here is Emil Højbjerg. Good ball to Timo Werner. Werner just trying to beat Nico Williams. He's done so well on that right-hand side as Nico Williams. Werner has the ball back now. And it's the ball is breaking loose for James Maddison down that left-hand side. James Maddison cutting into the area. Gets the cross back. It's Bentancur. It falls for Porro. And it's 3-1. And that could be it. Pedro Porro with the goal. And it initially fell to Bentancur, who got the header on, but it rolled towards the back post to Pedro Porro, who smashes the ball in. And once again, I'm sorry to have to harp on this, Luke, but once again, the defending wasn't at its best, was it?
Abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. It's quality from Spurs, and you've got to give credit to Spurs. They've pulled Nico Williams out of position, and then Maddison carries on going, and then plays the ball across. Yates doesn't deal with it. It's flicked on by Bentancur. Nobody deals with the ball going across the box then. And Aina doesn't get close enough to Porro. And it's all a little bit of a mess from Nottingham Forest. But it's real quality strike from Porro into that corner again, beating Matt Sells. But Forest poor defensively. Spurs, those changes with Højbjerg and Bentancur have made a difference. They've got control of the game. It's absolutely brilliant from Spurs. Abysmal from Nottingham Forest.
Well, we get the game back underway, and you can see there that they did not close down Porro at all, and as Luke rightly said, they didn't deal with the flick on from Bentancur, and it's now with Bentancur now, the goal scorer. He plays it off Danilo, and it's going to be a throw into Tottenham Hotspur midway inside their own half of the field down the right hand side. They're almost done at Bramall Lane, still 2-1. They're in injury time there, and the ball is given away by Brennan Johnson. And here's Ryan Yates now. He drops the ball back to Murillo. Murillo plays the ball forward looking for Gibbs-White. Bit of space for Gibbs-White, but that's a good challenge by Bentancur, or was it? No. It's a free kick and a yellow card for Rodrigo Bentancur. I'll just like to take another look at that. Initially, I thought it was a good challenge, but I could be wrong on that. Yes, it looks like he took Gibbs-White leg first before the ball, so of course that would be a free kick.
Kind of get the impression with that one that it was payback for the Gibbs-White on Bentancur about 5 minutes ago.
Could be, yes. For a moment I was thinking that, I just didn't want to say it, but I was thinking it. Here, Morgan Gibbs-White is now going to take the free kick after he's finished his brief discussion with Son Heung-min. High line by Spurs, right on the edge of the penalty area. And it's going to be swung in here by Morgan Gibbs-White. And it goes all the way towards the 6-yard box and almost headed on by Chris Wood, but good defending by Spurs and hacked away by Christian Romero, but only as far as Gibbs White, who gives it to Callum Hudson-Odoi down the left-hand side. Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's been impressive down that left-hand side. Gives it back to Morgan Gibbs-White. It's launched in and there's the back post to Anthony Elanga, and it drops on the top of the crossbar and goes behind. But you have to say that Vicario probably had that covered, no problem. But that was a good effort by Nottingham Forest. A little bit of good build-up that time.
Yeah, good build-up play, and the ball was put to the back post, but unfortunately for Elanga, he just couldn't get over it to put it back across.
And Spurs coming forward again now on the break, and here's Son Heung-min moving towards the middle. He's just inside the area, and he tried to play a pass, and that was blocked by Danilo. It's still with Spurs now on the edge of the area. It's back with Maddison with a shot. And that goes just wide, and that could very easily have been 4. And we are getting news from Bramall Lane that Sheffield United have equalised. We're going to have a corner here, and I'll get back to you with that. But it looks like Sheffield United have equalised at Bramall Lane, and that's miserable for Poch. And here now is Brennan Johnson. Johnson just drops the ball back to Maddison. Down the right-hand side, here's Pedro Porro, already scored a goal today. Gives it to Brennan Johnson, who gives it to Bentancur. And here is Maddison. Back here to Porro. Porro gives it to Emil Højbjerg. He gets a shot away, but there's just not enough on that. The goal scorer for Sheffield United, I'll see if I can give you that now. Oliver McBurney on 93 minutes. Looks like it might be enough to give Sheffield United a point. And Pochettino's job is under pressure right now. That ball is long, looking for Callum Hudson-Odoi, but nipping in at the back there is Christian Romero, who just gets it back to Vicario in the Spurs goal. Spurs, as it stands, are in the Champions League position, just ahead of Villa on goal difference. It's played long, looking for Brennan Johnson. Johnson down the right, he pulls the ball into the middle to James Maddison, and Maddison keeps a hold of possession, just trying to bring the ball down and under control. Here's Højbjerg. Højbjerg gives the ball there to Van de Ven, scorer of the second goal. It's Timo Werner now, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Timo Werner plays the ball across to Bentancur, nips into the penalty area. Bentancur, he was looking to pull it into the middle by Johnson, but it looks like Andrew Obama-Deli just got in the way of that. And here's Højbjerg again, and it's Bentancur. And there's Maddison. Back to Destiny Udogie. And now it's with Christian Romero. 3-1 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Long way back for Nottingham Forest right now if they want to get anything from this game. Here's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Gives it back to Van de Ven. And Bentancur. And he plays the ball forward. And Maddison does a quick 1-2 with Son. Son gives the ball to Brennan Johnson. And the ball was attempted to be played through by Son to Porro, but good interception by Ola Aina. But in clearing that ball away, Spurs have possession back. It's Porro again. He's got Brennan Johnson down the right. He finds Brennan Johnson. Good interception this time by Murillo. And now here's Callum Hudson-Odoi. He gives the ball away to Mickey van der Ven. And Mickey van der Ven storming forward now, making a challenge there. It's Ryan Yates, but it comes back now to Son Heung-min. He gives the ball to Timo Werner, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Werner gets a crossing right across the face of goal. And how dangerous was that, Luke? That was so close, but none of the Spurs forwards took a gamble on that.
Yeah, very dangerous, that cross. The first time Nico Williams has struggled to stop the cross. And again, everyone just stood and watched as Spurs just played it around, apart from Yates, who dived in the middle of the park and was very unlucky that his ricocheted back to Son. But I actually think Nuno needs to start looking at his bench.
Well, we're sort of past that hour mark. It's 65 minutes gone here. It's Tottenham 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Here's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. He plays across over to Destiny Udogie. Udogie, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. And now here is Timo Werner. It bounces back there to to James Maddison, who gets the shot blocked. It's now with Udogie again. Gives the ball back there to Van de Ven. And here is Romero. Romero plays it down the right-hand side to Brennan Johnson. Johnson gives it to Porro. Quick 1-2 there now. And here's Son Heung-min. Back to Porro. Corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. 3 or 4 Spurs players crowding that area. Højbjerg plays the ball across there to Timo Werner, who was looking for Destiny Udogie, but the pass was a poor one. And it goes behind for a goal kick. And Luke, could you tell me, do you see a way back for Forest in this game?
This all depends on whether Forest can get a hold of that midfield again. They might need to be making a couple of changes. Oh wait, they are, like I'm sidekick or something. But I'd say yes if they can up it, but I just think at the minute Spurs are just dominating, playing it round, and Forest aren't getting tight enough.
It does look like it's Divock Origi and Nicolas Dominguez warming up there. As here is Nico Williams now. He's about 35 yards out, struck a shot. Wasn't a million miles away. It was worth the effort. And it just it goes wide. It was good effort, that, and we're now going to see the changes. Coming off is Chris Wood, which is an interesting one. And also, I'm just not quite sure who the other player is that's coming off. There's Chris Wood coming off. Oh, and Morgan Gibbs-White is the other. So that's an interesting... are you surprised by that, Luke?
No, I think Gibbs-White's probably tiring a little bit. Chris Wood never really gets through 90 minutes, especially after playing 3 games in a week. So I'm not really that surprised. Dominguez will give us a bit more solidity in midfield and also can play a ball. Gibbs-White's also pointing to his back of his hamstring again by the looks of it. Chris Wood as well, to be honest, I think probably just run his course. Divock Origi's got a chance up front for once.
Well, Maurizio Pochettino's not going to be a happy man tonight. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 2 is a final. We're also going to bring you some breaking news in just a moment. Here is, and it's some very sad news, I'm afraid. Here is Brennan Johnson. He gives the ball there to Porro. Porro gets the cross in. It's just headed into the air by Murillo. And it falls to the feet, but he's offside anyway. So while we've got this break in play, I am just going to announce breaking news. Former Newcastle and Wimbledon boss Joe Kinnear has died aged 77. From everyone at the Commentary Hub and the partner channels, we pass on our deepest sympathies to Joe's friends and family at this very difficult time. It's going to be a throw-in to Nottingham Forest, and Nicolas Dominguez just drops the ball back as he has his first involvement in the game. And here's Murillo. Murillo gives the ball to Ola Einar. Einar drops the ball back there to Murillo. Murillo goes back to the goalkeeper, Matt Sell, who slips, but he gets a decent enough clearance on it. And Divock Origi there, who has now taken over on that. We're going to see Divock Origi perhaps through the middle, I should suspect. These days you can never tell with Forest. They've often played Divock Origi on the left or the right, but I can only see him being in the centre with a replacement for Wood.
Yeah, I can see that happening too, to be honest. I think we do need a focal point through the middle still.
It's a free kick for Tottenham Hotspur. And it's taken there by Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And the ball is played back there to Christian Romero, who plays it back to Højbjerg. Bentancur plays it down to Porro. Down the right-hand side now to Brennan Johnson. Johnson's cross is long, and it goes all the way out of play at the other end, way over Timo Werner's head. And very shortly, Luke, the duty falls on you today to pick a player of the match. There's probably a few candidates in your mind on who that might be. So we'll come to you at about the 88th, 89th minute mark is usually when tend to ask for these things. And here's Divock Origi putting pressure here on Christian Romero, but somehow Spurs maintain possession. Here's Bentancur. Plays the ball forward there looking for Destiny Udogie, but the ball is won back by Ryan Yates. And it's now with Danielson. Danielson drops the ball back there to Obama. Here's Einar. And now here's Dominguez. Dominguez back to Origi. Origi gives the ball to Ryan Yates, and the ball is attempted to be played forward by Nico Williams, but he's been beaten there by Timo Werner and held back. He's going to get a card here, is Nico Williams, for holding back Timo Werner. We'll just take a look at this again. He's holding his arm and his shirt there. So I think Timo Werner just, that's a free kick and a yellow card for Nico Williams. You agree with that one, Luke?
Yeah, you just pull back Timo Werner. Really, at this stage of the game, you're going to get a yellow card for that. Timo Werner was away. Nico Williams pulled it back. Silly, really.
Højbjerg plays the ball to Son Heung-min. Bentancur gives the ball back to Mickey van der Ven, scorer of the third goal. Mickey van der Ven. And scorer of the second goal on 52 minutes. And well, he's had a good game today as well. As here's Ola Einar now for Nottingham Forest. The ball is played long, and chasing this one down is Callum Hudson-Odoi under pressure from Porro. Hudson-Odoi plays the ball to Danielson. Danielson lays it off for Einar. Einar does a quick 1-2 with Dominguez, and it looks like the referee has seen something. As Callum Hudson-Odoi is down, and this is not what Nottingham Forest need. Is more injuries. They've already got a mountain of them as it is. As he cuts across there, it looks like he was shoved into the... it looks like he might have fallen awkwardly. It might just be an impact injury, Luke. What do you think?
Got a touch from Pedro Porro, and then just rolls and rolls and rolls. Hudson-Odoi picks up a lot of injuries in games. I'm probably expecting the two... Well, he's hobbling quite a lot. But let's see if he can run that off. He's moving better as he comes on, I think. But yeah, Forest might have to look at making a change.
Well, they've got a free kick from a pretty dangerous position, just a couple of yards inside from the touchline, left-hand side, level with the penalty area. It's swung in and headed out there comfortably by, I think that was Mickey van der Ven, as it comes back to Nico Williams, but Brennan Johnson just nips in to win that one and pulls the ball back to Porro. Porro plays the ball into the middle now, and it's Bentancur, and he sets off Destiny Udogie on his way, who then sends out Timo Werner, and cutting across Timo Werner to make the challenges Murillo, but his first touch wasn't the best, and Werner wins the ball back and gives it to Bentancur. Bentancur drops the ball back into his own half to Mickey van der Ven. Van der Ven tries to play the ball forward, and again he's given the ball away that time. And here's Dominguez now. Oh, he's body checked that time by, I think that was Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And Højbjerg may go into the referee's notebook here. No booking here, although it, in my opinion, was a blatant body check. Here's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Drops the ball back into his own half to Danilo. Danilo gives the ball to Einar. Einar drops it back to Murillo. Murillo gives it to Obama on the edge of his own penalty area. He plays it down the right-hand side to Williams. Williams then just tried to find Anthony Elanga there. And looks like there's action on the Spurs bench, as we're going to see two more substitutes from Tottenham Hotspur with 15 minutes to go in this one. And here's James Maddison. Maddison tries to turn away there from Ryan Yates. That's a good challenge from Yates. And it's back now with Nico Williams, who gives the ball back to Andrew Omobamidele. Gives the ball to Matt Sells. And Sells releases it to Einar. Einar sends Callum Hudson-Odoi off on his way, but that is too That goes out of play. That's too much for Callum Hudson-Odoi to chase down, and we're going to see the substitutions now, 18 and 21. So it's Lo Celso and also Dejan Kulusevski, and Werner is going off. Not surprised to see that one. He struggled against Nico Williams, and also James Maddison is the other substitution. So Maddison and Werner off, Kulusevski and Lo Celso on. Are you surprised by those substitutions, or do you think that's a smart move by Ange Postecoglou?
Smart move by Postecoglou. It's freshening the positions up. Lo Celso and Kulusevski will definitely prove a bit of a problem for Nottingham Forest. I think Timo Werner has worked himself into the ground against Nico Williams. James Maddison has been running around here, there, and everywhere all game. He's also probably got to the point where he's done, so it makes sense to replace him with Lo Celso and Kulusevski, just fresh legs in those positions.
All right, goes back to the goalkeeper, Matt Sells, and Matt Sells clears the ball, but it goes out of play. It's not the best ball by Matt Sells, and it's a throw-in for Spurs, almost right on the halfway line, just inside the Nottingham Forest half of the field. It's going to be taken by Destiny Udogie on that far side, and it's hooked back towards Mickey van der Ven. Kulusevski wearing 21, Lo Celso wearing 18. If you are following along on the pictures with the commentary, and it's a bright change for Spurs because you get rid of Timo Werner, and then all of a sudden here comes Kulusevski. Here comes Destiny Udogie now down the right hand side, plays it into the middle to Son. Son is dispossessed though that time by Danielson, but Danielson is alleged to have connected with Son, and it's a yellow card for Danielson. It looks like he, it's actually Lo Celso. It looks like he catches Lo Celso quite unpleasantly there. Just want your opinion on this. Oh, those studs are high. Oh, those studs are high. I don't know about that, Luke. I don't know about that.
That's high. That's high and that's nasty. Let me watch that again from here. Oh, Danilo on Lo Celso. That's, you might be in trouble here, Danilo, because that's high on the knee.
Yeah, that is very high. They're reviewing it now as a potential red card. That for me is a red card. I'm not sure about you, Luke, but that's for me is a red card. And I think the referee will have to go over to the monitor and take a look at this.
That's high, and the ball's gone. The ball's already gone. I don't know what would save him here.
Well, it looks like the VAR review is done, and he's not going to go off. That's an interesting decision. In VAR today, we have Michael Salisbury and James Mannering. But the free kick is about 23, 24 yards out. Standing over it is Lo Celso, but I think Kulusevski's over that as well. No, it's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Is it going to be a Pierre-Emile Højbjerg? It is, and it's right into the wall and goes behind for a corner. But I think Forest have got away with one there, Luke.
Incredibly lucky boy, Danilo. That was not a good tackle.
Well, it's going to be a corner here, which Dejan Kulusevski will take. No, it's not going to be Kulusevski, actually. It is... I was trying to see who that is over there. I think it's Porro. Porro is going to take this one. And he swings it in, and up goes Matt Sells and claims that ball fairly comfortably anyway. So it is a simple catch out of the air. He's going to release the ball. Our producer Russ said it's not clear and obvious error according to VAR. Well, I would use it I would qualify that, Russ, with according to VAR, because to me that was a very dangerous challenge and one that he's lucky to get away with. So we're going to see another substitution for Forest. It's a double substitution. It is number 20. Let's see. So Ryan Yates is going off. 18 minutes, Ryan Yates. And Danielson. So Danielson and Yates. And coming on, let's take a look who's coming on here. I think, yes, Sangari and Reina are coming on. So that is Giovanni Reina and Ibrahim Sangara on, making up that the third and fourth substitution for Nottingham Forest. Both sides now having made 4 substitutions. Bentancur drops the ball back to Christian Romero, who gives it back to the goalkeeper. And it's a bad giveaway in the penalty area, and it breaks loose. Here's a real opportunity for already on the field is Reina trying to get involved there to get a shot away, but the ball just wouldn't settle down for him, and Spurs able to clear it, and that goes out of play. But Giovanni Reina almost nipping in and making an immediate impact. And here is Andrew Omobamidele to Nicolas Dominguez, and it's given back there to Sangara, who drops it back to Omobamidele. And now here's Anthony Alanga, and he slips the ball to Dominguez, who plays the ball long over on the far side, looking for Nico Williams. He wins the ball, does Williams. Can he get a good cross in here? Oh, he slips at the vital moment. And, he was very, very unfortunate there, as here's Kulishevsky now trying to get the ball away, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg now trying to play the pass across there to Udogie, but the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in to Nottingham Forest, level with the penalty area down the right-hand side. Here's Anthony Alanga, pulls the ball back to Dominguez with a shot, but it's right at the goalkeeper there. And if Luke, if you have made your mind up about the player of the match, if you could just pop it in the chat for Ross to put in, and then I'll ask you in about 6 minutes' time. As we look at, and the ball is cleared downfield, and Thom nearly just nipped inside the 2 Forest defenders there, but Matt Sells was quick to get on the end of that. And it's now back with Porro, who drops it back to the goalkeeper, Vicario. And Vicario then gives the ball to Emerson Royale, and it's now with Porro, who plays the ball forward here, and now it's Brennan Johnson going down the right hand side, back to Porro, now back to Johnson just pulls the ball back here and plays the ball over on the far side to Lo Celso, and he's dispossessed, but it does go all the way back into the Spurs half of the field, as we are down to the last 7 minutes here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Luke, it's looking more and more likely like the Spurs are going to take the 3 points today.
Yeah, Spurs have been good for the money today, to be fair. Apart from that little spell in the first half, they've been on top with possession. They've really had it going for them, and their attacking players cut Forest open all day.
Well, the ball is played forward looking for Kulusevski, but that's a good interception that time by Dominguez. And now Murillo just drops the ball here to Callum Hudson-Odoi, and that is a good interception by Dejan Kulusevski, but he loses the ball as Divock Origi Anthony Alanga just trying to break away there. And here is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Højbjerg again, he goes down under the challenge there and of Dominguez, but here is Brennan Johnson now coming forward. Brennan Johnson beats 1 Forest player, beats 2, gives the ball to Son, and that's a fine save by Sells, and it bounces onto the post. But that was very close to being 4. It fell just nicely to Son, who beat Nico Williams and Andrew Omobamidele. But what a good save, and Sells gets a bit of luck for that too, as it hits the post. But once again, you saw the dangerous speed of Spurs there.
Yeah, the link-up play between Johnson and Son was electric there. And Son probably thought he'd scored if Sells hadn't made that miraculous save onto the post.
Corner taken quickly. And here's
Did get a bit
Lascelles.
of luck, but yeah, that was a great save from Matt Sells.
Pierre-Emile Højbjerg gives the ball to Lascelles. So again, it's back to Højbjerg. Time ticking down here. Højbjerg gives the ball to Porro. Porro back to Højbjerg. At Spurs now, it's game management time for them. They play the ball back into their own half to Vicario. As we go down, we have 4 minutes left to go. And we're going to get Luke's player of the match in about 2 minutes' time, as the ball is played forward, looking for Dejan Kulusevski, but that ball is out of play. We're going to see the final substitution for Forest. Number 29 is coming on, and that is Montiel for Nico Williams, who is coming on. He's just going to have to hand the armband to somebody else now. He's had a very good game, Nico Williams, hasn't he?
He has.
And it's the throw-in taken quickly by Montiel. And it's won back by Tottenham Hotspur, and it's played forward there by Brennan Johnson. But Montiel will just watch that ball go out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Nottingham Forest. And here is Murillo. Murillo gives the ball to Ola Aina down the left-hand side. Oh, good challenge by Brennan Johnson. Wins the ball back. He's now going to hold it up now and just give it to Rodrigo Bentancur. And it's with Udogie, who drops it back to Mickey van der Ven. And it's won back by Callum Hudson-Odoi. And now it's played forward to Divock Origi. What can Divock Origi do? He's got 4 players around him. He goes down under the challenge, and the free kick will only be about 20 yards out. And he's pointing, the referee, Simon Hooper, is pointing at somebody. Let's just take a look here. Yes, the challenge is by Christian Romero. And see if the referee is going to give any yellow cards or anything, but it's a free kick from about 20 yards out. And it's a dangerous position. Standing over this is Callum Hudson-Odoi. And after this free kick, we will give the player of the match from Luke will announce that after this free kick. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi with the free kick. He's got the wall in front of him, Bentancur in that wall, Van der Ven in that wall. He may just lay it off to Dominguez Hudson-Odoi, but let's see. He has a shot, and it just clears the crossbar and goes over, and he looks disappointed with that, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Okay, Luke, let's have your player of the match.
I've gone for Nico Williams, purely for the fact of how he handled Timo Werner a few large parts of that game. Really can't blame many of the goals on Nico Williams because he was pulled out of the position, trying to mark somebody else, and then the Spurs were smart to play behind him. So I've gone for Nico Williams.
Okay, today's player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Nottingham Forest number 7, Nico Williams. And Spurs make their last substitution, bringing on Dane Scarlett for Brennan Johnson. We've had a comment in the comment section by Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming. Spurs have come back now. Indeed, they have. They've definitely been the better side in the second half, as Lucas said. As we are now inside the last minute, Murillo wins a challenge there with Dejan Kulusevski. And just down there is Ola Aina as well. I can't imagine there being a great deal of stoppage time, but we'll be able to give you an answer to what the stoppage time will be in just a few moments. As Van der Ven not pleased with that. It's going to be a free kick nevertheless to Forest as Murillo plays the ball to Ola Aina. Aina plays the ball forward, but dispossessed there is Reina. And it's won back by Murillo as the ball was played forward there, looking for the substitute Dane Scarlett. And it's now rolled back to Montiel, and the ball is played long forward now into the Tottenham Hotspur half of the field. And out to meet it is Vicario. And it looks like we are getting 6 minutes of injury time. So Spurs, 6 minutes of injury time for Spurs to hang on. A long ball there is chasing that one. Is Lo Celso, but he's not able to get there, and the ball goes out of play. As we look at the two owners there, Daniel Levy and, of course, Marinakis. And Marinakis does not look pleased. Well, he might. It's not been a good afternoon for him and the rest of the Nottingham Forest team. Rodrigo Bentancur wins the ball back, but illegally. It looks like he's committed a foul there. As well, Nuno Espirito Santo, your opinion on his performance today and his substitutions and tactics, Luke?
It's made sense, a lot of it. Going into the game, Forest was set up to obviously counter on Spurs, and the first half it worked. I just think the second half they fell asleep, and the defending is still not great for Nottingham Forest. But I don't think you can really blame a lot of that on Nuno, because it was basically the same all season. I think, in a sense, Spurs just knew what they needed to do in the second half. It was good management from Postecoglou to make those changes in midfield. Probably caught Forest out, and yeah, the subs made sense. Fresh legs in the middle, and then obviously taking off Chris Wood. Gibbs White was injured. Getting the fresh leg spread around just makes sense to me.
Oh, challenge there, right in the back. And Omar Bamadeli doesn't think that challenge is, doesn't think there's anything wrong with that challenge. Lo Celso going down. He did go through the back of Lo Celso. No further action taken by Simon Hooper. And the ball is played forward there, looking for Van de Ven. But it comes back now. Nottingham Forest have the ball back, and it's Anthony Alanga. Alanga plays the ball down there to Montiel. Alanga. Now under pressure there is Rivera. And Rivera again just manages to lose the ball that time. And here's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And the ball is played long towards the left-hand side, and it's Dejan Kulusevski now. He's got space in front of him, and he goes down under the challenge of Omar Bamadeli. Nothing wrong with that. Montiel clears the ball, and it's now dropped back there by Dominguez. Dominguez gives it to Sangara, and now the ball goes from Reina to Anthony Alanga. Alanga to Dominguez. It's still Alanga, and that's unfortunately a disappointing ball by Alanga there. And Mickey van der Ven wins that ball back, but he only manages to find Sangara. And it's now with Murillo, who gives the ball to Dominguez. He's got Callum Hudson-Odoi down the left-hand side. Here's Hudson-Odoi now. He puts into the penalty area. Hudson-Odoi, can he get the cross into the back post? But there's nobody there. And going over to chase it on the right-hand side is Reina. Reina drops the ball back to Sangara. Sangara, there's 2 minutes left in injury time at the end of this game now, and that's if Simon Hooper doesn't choose to add on any more. And Hudson-Odoi drops it back there to Aina. Aina swings across in, but Van de Ven wins a header. And now then, here's Son Heung-min. And he holds the ball up there as it's now with Dejan Kulusevski. He tried to get Pedro Porro away there, but it comes off a Forest player and goes out of play. As we look at Chris Wood, who's missed a golden opportunity in the first half that would have given Forest the lead. They do have to go back and look at some of the missed chances and the time and possession that they've had on the ball. We've got about 90 seconds left, Luke. Why don't you give me your final assessment?
Yeah, Forest were basically outplayed in the second half. I think first half, Chris Wood's goal was good. Chris Wood's missed chance, he's going to rue that. Spurs were on top in the first 10 minutes, but then unfortunately...
Here goes Kulusevski now. Kulusevski tries to play the ball into the middle to Son, but that is a good block by Omar Bamadeli. Sorry, carry on, Luke, I apologise.
Then Spurs basically just picked it apart in the second half with those changes. And to be honest, it's just looked like Spurs have been in control ever since.
Well, we're inside the last minute now of stoppage time. as we look at Ange Postecoglou. And this corner is going to be taken short, no doubt it is, and it's given to Pedro Porro. Porro drops it back to Lo Celso. Lo Celso, edge of the area there to Dejan Kulusevski. Back to Lo Celso, will have a shot, but that goes well wide. And that will just about do it, I would suspect, as we approach the final few seconds of this game. Matt Sells just puts the ball down and plays it there to Omobamidele. And here's Murillo. Murillo now drops the ball to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi just moving away from Dejan Kulusevski. Drops the ball back to Omobamidele. Gives the ball to Sangara in the midfield, and he plays the ball down the right-hand side to Anthony Elanga. Drops the ball to Reina, and Elanga re-picks the ball up in the middle of the park. It's a good ball there through to Divock Origi. Divock Origi's got a bit of space in front of him. He'll have a shot, but it was a tame effort, and Vicario just falls on it. As I believe that's it. That's full time. It's Tottenham 3, Nottingham Forest 1. The relegation fight continues for Nottingham Forest. For Tottenham, they move into the top 4 with this victory on goal difference. It started with an own goal on 15 minutes by Murillo. Chris Wood equalised, though, on 26 minutes, and then missing a golden opportunity to give Forest a lead. Spurs made some changes at half-time, and on 52 minutes, Mickey van der Ven gave Spurs the lead, followed by Pedro Porro's blaster on 56 minutes. Is enough to give Nottingham Forest, is enough to give Tottenham the victory, 3-1 here, and Forest are desperately looking over their shoulders at Luton now, and this one is a good victory for Spurs. Luke, do you have any final thoughts on this? Where do you think Forest go from here?
I think they go back to the drawing board, to be fair. I think they need to look at how they set up against Wolves in the next game that they have to come at the City Ground. I think they can take a lot of positives from their first half, that they didn't let that own goal dishearten them a bit. I think they need to go back and analyse the defence, because again, the defending in that second half was atrocious. As for Spurs, I think they can take a lot of credit from their second half performance, but I'd be looking at that first half performance and thinking, well, how did we slip to allow Chris Wood to get in and score? But all in all, yeah, improvements needed still by Nottingham Forest and Nuno. I'd also say that improvements are still needed from Ange Postecoglou and Spurs too.
Well, thank you very much, Luke, for your awesome job today on the co-commentator's role. Thank you very much to Ross for producing. We really appreciate that. Next on the commentary hub is next Sunday at the Emirates. Arsenal will take on Aston Villa. I will be with you for that one. I want to thank you all very much indeed for listening, for taking your time to join us today. We know that you're very busy, and we really appreciate you spending your valuable time listening to us today. But for now, it's Spurs Day as they move into the top 4. Bye for now.